Match number 3 of the semifinals. One of these alliances will be moving on to the finals. One of them will be moving down to the lower bracket. Currently, it's pretty even between the two alliances, and Jesuit has placed a piece of coral very oddly at an angle, but it does count in that position. Over on the blue side of the field, 36-36, the Generals with a piece of coral in hand next to their alliance partner, SK Robotics. Piece of coral placed up high for 957 Swarm. And Generals have a piece of algae in their robot lining up with the barge, and they're going to launch it up like we've been seeing them do all season. It flies and it goes into that blue barge. Chaos Theory, a quick cycle on the opposite side of 2471. Team Mean Machine, both placing coral up high. Chaos Theory returns to the human player station where they have gathered a piece of coral, and they're now placing it on the 3rd level. Mean Machine launching a piece of algae across the field. Jesuit placing another piece of coral up high and returning back to the human player station. 36-36, the Generals, another successful shot up into the Blue Alliance barge before returning back to the reef and pulling another piece of algae off. Swarm returning to the human player station, trying to line up and move some game elements out of the way. Even with the pieces of algae up against the human player station, they are able to grab that piece of coral and return it to the 3rd height on the reef. SK Robotics reaching down for some coral. They have it in hand and they just drop it, but they're going to spin around and grab that piece and try again. Red side of the field, Chaos Theory quickly dropping a piece of coral onto the 1st level of the reef. Mean Machine trying to line up with one of the remaining pieces of the level 4 of the reef and just missing, and it tumbles to the ground. Chaos Theory, level 3. Jesuit lining up with the Chaos Theory human player, grabbing it and spinning around to the backside of the reef, trying to figure out where do I want to put this piece of coral. Just over 20 seconds left in this match, 125 to 148 in favor of the Blue Alliance. Currently an upset at the moment, but will the Red Alliance be able to spin this around and get some climbs here? Mean Machine trying to engage. Chaos Theory is up in the air. Swarm is up in the air. Will Mean Machine be able to do it? They've hit the chain, so that climb definitely won't count if they do. And that is the end of the match, 132 to 156 in favor of the Blue Alliance. Currently an upset at the moment if the scores stick. We'll have your final scores to you in a moment. Let's take a look at who's going to the finals and who is dropping down to the lower bracket. It's the Blue Alliance! Your number 3 alliance walking away with a new high score of 170 to 146. The difference coming down to the algae being scored by 36-36, the Generals. 16 points in algae, level barge, almost level penalty, almost level coral.